you can call this deck Dylon because this spits hot fire. What's up, guys? So today I am bringing a very special deck. I decided to bring back Hazy Flames. It's an archetype that came out in Cosmo Blazer and very sparingly got support throughout the Zexal era and things like that. So I thought, some cards came out that can help support a little bit. They're a rank or level 6 base deck, so they have a very gimmick with normal summons, and also your opponent can't target them with card effects. So that's pretty cool because that way your opponent can't do stuff to your monsters. But I did combine it with Salamander because it's another fire-based archetype. So I just decided to combine them. You get some pretty awesome boards, with the Wolf and Heat Leo, and then being able to summon Basiltriz, which is a really annoying monster. And then with like Hydra, you get access to Evil Source Soldo, which is a card you don't really see often because it's a very type-specific card to summon. But yeah, you can pull off some stuff with this deck, and this is what I came up with, and let's dive right into it. So in this deck, we do run a lot of monsters. We run about like 10 Hazy Flames, I believe, if not 12 or 13, I forget. But we'll count what we go through. But the first card you really want to run is 3 Cerberus. This card is cool because you can normal summon it without tributing, but it only becomes 1,000. But he's kind of like your beater in the deck because a lot of these cards are rekindling targets. So obviously we're playing rekindling in the main deck. But this card is kind of a card you want to start off with. We also play Onslaught of Fire Kings because you could summon some of these cards really easily. That way you get your normal summon off, especially if you don't have access to the Hazy Pillar. And like I said, if sometimes if you don't get your Hazy cards, you have the Salamander Greats as well. So that way, if you don't have the Hazy part of the deck, or you can't start off real well with the Hazy deck, you have the Salamander Greats to keep going with. But anyway, back into the card. Yeah, Cerberus is really good because if it gets destroyed by a card effect, you get to search a Hazy card, and usually if you do use it with like Onslaught of the Fire Kings, the end phase gets destroyed, and you get its effect. So that's why it's really good. And like I say, it's just one of your main beaters in the deck. For the next really important Hazy Flame monster, play 3 Sphinx. This card is kind of like a Spiral Super Agent. You call the top card of your deck, and if you call it right, you get to summon a hazy, or not even a Hazy monster. You can actually summon a Fire monster from your hand or graveyard. So you can summon anything back. I run the Agimazu. You can bring back a Salamander Great monster from your graveyard, or even a Salamander Great monster. That way you can at least go into the links and stuff. So that's why you gotta run 3 Sphinx just to get that effect off. And since we do kind of have a high monster count in this deck, you usually call monster because that's usually what you have, or that's what you run a lot of. So that way you can, with the odds, you can call it right most of the time. For the next really broken card is the 3 Hazy Flame Hydra. The only restriction this card has is that you can only summon fire monsters, but usually, a lot of your extra deck is fire, like the Basiltriz or even the Salamander monsters. So you can circumvent his restriction really easily. But with this card, he is a dinosaur, level 6. So you can summon Evil Source Solda, and then his effect is if he's exceed summoned using this as material, you can attach a Hazy Flame monster from your graveyard to as material. So sometimes some play is you summon the Periton, summon these 2 from the deck, you summon the Solda, and then you get 2 monsters. You get, or at least up to 2 monsters to his material. And Solda is every time your opponent special summons a monster, you get to destroy it, detach and destroy. So yeah, that's why this card is really important as well. And a lot of these Hazy Flame monsters, they're high attack too, so that way they don't get run over too easily. So that's why these cards are really good. And yeah, like I said, it just helps make Basiltriz with a lot of material because then it can be targeted or destroyed and things like that. So that's why I play the Hydra, just to help get the materials, because usually you can get 2 Hazy Flame monsters pretty easily on the field. But Basiltriz is not really that good if it only has 2 materials. You want to get up to 3 because then that's when it starts getting all the materials. So that's why this helps get more materials under Basiltriz a lot easier. And probably the most broken card in the deck is the 3 Hazy Flame Periton. So his only restriction is that he can only be special summoned except by Hazy Flame effect. So either Sphinx, or you can still summon another Periton from the deck. But I would only suggest that if you run out of targets or something in the deck, so you have to summon another one. But you can only use the effect once per turn, so you can't just blindly, you know, just keep tributing and sending and keep something from deck. So it's only a once per turn effect, a hard once per turn effect. So to keep it in check, obviously. But yeah, this card is really easy because this is what gets your monsters out on the board, and you can start going into some big XCs monsters. And yeah, he's really good. And then for the last Hazy Flame monster, I just play one Manticore. This is really just for the name. Sometimes, if, like I said, you do like start using your Cerberus or Sphinxes a lot from the deck, you still have him, and he's also pretty cool because, like I said, all the Hazy Flame monsters can be targeted by card effects. But his effect is you can send a fire monster from your side of the field to the graveyard, and he can be destroyed by card effects. So he can also protect himself, and he just looks really cool. I wish a lot of these cards, Hazy Flame cards, were supers, but they're not. But I wish they were because they look really cool with all the red and stuff. But anyways, beside the point. Now we get onto the Salamander part of the deck. So obviously, gotta run one Gazelle. He's the most important, one of the most important Salamander monsters. And as I just start your combos off, so that's why you're playing one of him. We play 2 Spinny just because he can be like a free monster that you can summon from your graveyard, especially once you get like the wheelchair cat and things like that. Yeah, so he's just a free material out there. You don't, like I say, you don't really use his first. I mean, you can use first effect to get in the grave, and afterwards you summon it. But as long as you have a monster on the field, obviously. But yeah, he's just there just for the free link material. And then one card I'm still trying out is the 2 Mirror. We just play this card because you can special summon it a little bit easier. Like that way you don't have to commit your normal summon to it. As long as you have another Salamander card in your hand. But in testing, I probably would cut this down to 1 and maybe play another of the. Well, I might as well show you now. The Scorching Sunburner. I might play that card just because also it's a killing target, and it's just a really good card. But yeah, but right now I'm just trying to, just because, like I said, you just want to get you want to save your normal summon for your Hazy Flame stuff, and if you can get special summons off with the Salamander cards and still get, you know, pluses and stuff, it just makes a better board, I think. So that's why I play the 2 for now. But like I said, you can always cut it down to 1 if you feel like it's too much. Alright, and then for the next Salamander, it's just the one-ofs that I'm playing. I'm playing 1 Foxy, 1 Jaguar, 1 Falco, and 1 Fowl. You usually want to save your normal summon for the Hazies, but if you don't get access to the Hazy cards right away, Foxy is a good card just because you can at least excavate the top cards of your deck, and if you do get another Salamander card, you can at least get it to your hand, just to thin out the deck more a little bit. And then Jaguar is just good because you can recycle monsters back, and you, like I said, summon them for free material. Falco, like I said, you just get rid of stuff and you just a free summon. And then Foul, just if you normal summon a Salamander, you can at least summon him from your hand. And like I said, just to get more pieces on the board and things like that, just to get onto either your Salamander cards or just link material in general. So that's why I play just one of those. Now onto the other fire monsters we play in the deck. Like I said, I do play 1 Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. Oddly enough, he is a rekindling target, so even if he does get destroyed or whatever and sent to the graveyard, you can bring him back with rekindling, because rekindling is broken, especially with the Hazy Flame monsters. Some of the Hazy Flames are, you know, defense 200. But that is a really good card because in case they do destroy one of your fire monsters or something like that, you can bring him out and then you get to even do some burn damage. So that way, like, you know, if you're ever playing in time in like a tournament, which probably you won't play with this deck, but you know, just that extra damage could help sometimes. So that's why we play the card. And like I say, I probably bump that up to 2 if you want to take the mirror out, either completely or just to 1 and add another one of those. And because we are playing all fire in the deck, I'm playing 2 Agni Mazud. Yeah, he's just a good card. He's just easy to summon, and you can actually get his effect off because you're actually running all fires. So sometimes if you just can't get there, or you just can extend a little bit, so you could you know, just get the extra material or just extra pressure on your opponent to banish a monster or something on their field. This card can come in pretty handy, so that's why we play 2, just because we got all fires. Alright guys, and now on to the spells. Obviously, one of the most important spells in the whole deck is your 3 Hazy Pillar. This card allows you to normal summon your Hazy Flame monsters for 1 less tribute, so obviously they're all level 6, so obviously you get to normal summon them for free. And they still keep their attack. Well, I mean, like Cerberus has an attack modifier, obviously, if you use its own effect. But in this case, they're all beaters, and like I said, you could get your Periton out easier, your Sphinx out easier, so you could use its effect. So you really want to protect this card as much as you can, especially if you get the Hazy cards going. But yeah, it's just a really important card. And then you could also attach material to one of your Exceed monsters. So yeah, just extra utility, you know. But that card's really important. You want to try, if you can, protect it as much as you can, because it just helps your Hazy Flame monsters a lot more. And then obviously we're going to play 3 Onslaught Fire Kings, because you can just summon out any of your Hazy Flame monsters except Periton. But other than that, it's kind of like an unexpected die card. You know, you just summon out a monster, or you can bait it out, or you can bait this out with like, you know, if you want to bait on Ash or something like that. So that's why it's kind of there as well. It can be as, you know, bait, or just to get your combo start or your play starting. So that's why I play the 3 of, because you want to see it in your opening hand. And now for the next broken card, we do play 3 Rekindling. I made sure it was at 3. I think it's at 3. Should be at 3. But yeah, this card's broken. Once you get your Hazy Flame monsters in the grave, especially like Cerberus and Hydra, they're all 200. So, like I said, you just get them for free, and then you get them free back, and then you just Xyz or Links for nothing. So that's why you gotta play 3. Especially it's good late game. Early game you don't want to see it, but late game you want to see it. Now onto some of the Salamander Great cards spells we play. Obviously you're gonna play 1 circle, just so you can search your stuff, things like that. You can even set it with, like, you know, all the, you know, Sunlight Wolf and shenanigans, or Falco or whatever. So yeah, just the circle, just search out what you need. 1 Sanctuary for the Balinks, just so you have a search off. And like I said, just to help your link place, so that way you can go into the material of its own name. We'll play 1 Will Salamander Great, just because it's kind of like a monster reborn every turn, especially if your opponent doesn't get rid of it. It can be either from your hand or graveyard. So that way you can start your Salamander Great, especially if you already use your normal summon for the Hazy Flame stuff, and you still have like a Salamander Great monster, you could at least, you know, special and go into wheelchair kind of stuff. So yeah, just 1 Will Salamander Great, just good utility card. And then a card I'm trying out is a 2 of the Rising Fire, just because it counts as a Salamander Great card, so you can search it if need be. But other than that, it's basically like a fire monster reborn, because it summons any fire monster in your graveyard, and it boosts the attack for 500. So if you have like a Hydra, or if you have a Cerberus in the grave, or Manticore, you could summon this out. I mean, you have to control no, I think it's target fire monsters, control no monsters. So as long as you control no monsters, even if you have your faceless spells and stuff, it's okay. But as long as you control no monsters, this card's live. And it's just really good because, and also if it gets destroyed, or if it leaves the field, you get to banish a monster from the field. So even extra protection for your stuff. So even if they do get rid of your monster, or they pop this just to get rid of your monster, then you can at least get rid of one of their stuff. Now onto some of the generic spells. Because the Hazy Flames are level 6, I am trying out 2 of the Celestial Observatory. Any draw power is good in this deck, especially because, like I said, sometimes maybe you can't search as much, or you just want to dig a little deeper, and sometimes you're just like, screw it, I'm just gonna get rid of all my Hazy cards. It puts it back in the deck, so at least it makes like it can make your Periton live, and things like that. Maybe you draw into, like, you know, Hazy. Probably a god draw would be, you know, you activate this, put a Hazy Flame monster back on the bottom, and then you draw a Periton and a Hazy Pillar. Broken already. So that's why this card can help, because you can put the Hazy Flame monster back, and then you can even just summon it out easier from the deck. So that's why we play 2 of this, just to get some kind of draw power in the deck going. And then the last spell I'm playing is 1 Circle of Fire Kings. You can use this as, like I like to say a lot with some of my decks, is either an offensive card or defensive card. So like, let's say if you already attacked all your monsters, you're trying to game your opponent, destroy one of your monsters, summon one out from the graveyard, and attack again, things like that. So yeah, just a good utility card. And if, let's say, they want to, you know, destroy one of your monsters or something, I mean, if the Hazy, it can be any fire, so let's say even your Salamander Great cards, you know, that's why we play the card. So because it's just very universal, and I like that about the card. And for the last card in the deck we play is obviously the 1 Salamander Great Roar. Just in case if you need some kind of protection, some spell and trap negation or something like that, or monster effect negation. That's why I play the Roar. And yeah, it's just a good card. And like I said, just more utility, especially for Salamander Great stuff. say if you end up with the Salamander stuff instead of the Hazy Flame stuff, you could try to set a roar, you know, just to stop your opponent a little bit. And now, onto the extra deck. So, we're going to start with some of the Exceeds. We're going to play 2 Basiltris. This is the main rank 6. This or the Solda are going to be the main rank 6 you play in the deck. And yeah, it's just, once you get the materials on them, like easily with Hydra and stuff, he can become a really annoying monster. If he has 3 materials, he gains 200 attack for every material with it. 4, it can be targeted by card effects, and 5, it gains all the effects. So then 5, if it has 5 materials, it gains 200 for every material, so that would be 5, so that would be the extra 1,000, so it would be a 3,500 beater. It can be targeted by card effects, and it can be destroyed by card effects. Obviously, you can get Kaiju, but that's okay. It'll just make your opponent have to do something extra. But yeah, he's just a really annoying card, and that's why we love playing him. And also, his actual effect is you can detach the material from him to banish a monster on the field or graveyard. So if you want to get rid of something in the graveyard, you can do that. Or if not, you could at least get rid of something on the field. Alright, next card is obviously the Evilsaur Solda. Let's just play 1 just because if you can go into it, you go into it. If not, it's okay. Yeah, he's just kind of like an Evilsaur Nightmare. You can use it multiple, and you can destroy all your special summon monsters every time they special summon. So even with the parentheses S. So let's say they Pendulum Summon 5, that's okay. I'm going to destroy them all at once. So that's why he's really broken. For a couple other generic rank 6, I play 1 Phosphon Strike Bouncer just because to negate effects. That's why he's there. So yeah, let's say just utility, and it burns your opponent for 1,000. That can help out too. And then 1 Ptolemy, just in case it can be like, you know, destroyed by card effects, you can use him to get rid of stuff. 1 card I remember I used to play back in the day when I used to play old Hazy Flame, and it came out in Legacy of the Valiant, was the Fairy Knight Ingunar. This card's broken because you can return everything else to the field. So if you can get 3 materials without the Hydra, because Hydra will restrict you from doing that. But if you can get like Sphinx, Cerberus, and a Manticore or whatever, or any combination of that, you can summon this guy, and he can return everything, and your opponent cannot respond to that effect. So when he's summoned, nothing happens, and you're gonna activate that effect, your opponent can't do anything. So good luck. But yeah, this card is just really broken. You don't see it a lot because obviously there's not a lot of level 6 decks out there, and then also he takes 3 level 6 monsters, so it can be hard to summon. But you can with the Hazy Flame once you get it going, and that's why I just like playing the card. Now onto the links. So obviously with Salamander, we're going to play 2. I just played 2 of each of the links. So 2 Banelinks, 2 Sunlight Wolves, 2 Heat Leos. Banelinks obviously to start off and then protect your cards. 2 Sunlight Wolf because he's a really good card, and then 2 Heat Leo. Heat Leo is kind of like your spell and trap removal from the deck, and also kind of your, I don't want to say beat stick, but he's like, the one of the stronger fire monsters you can summon really easily with the Salamander cards. So that's why he's in the extra deck. He's just, like I said, a really good card. And then for generic links, I played the 1 barricade board blocker just because you want to protect either your field, sometimes it doesn't matter, but obviously you want to protect your Hazy Pillar. Or I was talking about the Sanctuary with the Salamander stuff. But yeah, you really want to protect your Hazy Pillar because let's say you do activate it and stuff like that, or your opponent gets rid of it. It sucks because then now you have to try to get the Hazy Pillar again from the deck. So that's why I put Barricade Board Blocker in here, just in case you really need to, because I want to protect my Hazy Pillar and any other or even my Will of the Salamander grade, or like I said, the field spell for Salamander grades. So that's why we play it, just to protect your cards. Then obviously because everything's fire, 1 Phoenix, like I said, another spell and trap removal, he's a 1900 beat stick. So that's why we play it. And then for the last card, the last big link I play is Borreload. I would suggest, especially if you have to go first, you could play Appaloosa because you can get like 3 monsters, or like 2 link, like a link 2 and then like 2 monsters on. You can make Appaloosa if you really like to. But that's if you're going first. But like if you're trying to, once the duel goes on, Appaloosa probably won't be as beneficial in a way because especially if you can get 4 materials of her, that's great, or even 3 materials, she's 2400. But Borreload is just a really annoying monster, so you can play this or Bulbasaur if you like as well, or Appaloosa. Just depends how you really want to play a deck. Usually I would want to go second with this deck, but if you end up going first, probably Appaloosa could be a good card to use because that way you get negation out on the field. But if not, Just in on like, you know, Solda and like a Sunlight Wolf would be enough sometimes. Solda can pop all your opponent's monsters. And Boiler is just a really annoying card. He's just my favorite, one of my favorite Link monsters, so that's why we play him as well. But that is it for the deck profile, you guys. Let us know down in the comments below what you think about this Hazy Flame deck that got brought back from the ashes. And yeah, what I think your thoughts of Hazy Flames. I think they're pretty cool. I just wish they had some kind of link or a spell that just makes it a little more broken, or maybe like an easy normal summonable monster. That would be great. But other than that, make sure you check out the TCG player link down in the section below for any cards you might need for your deck building ideas. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.